In today's climate, you always need to be ready. Nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights. Shoot better. Stay safer. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge.
Broadcasting nationwide, this is Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Your views, advice, and questions are the driving force of gun talk. Call Tom now at 866-TALK-GUN. That's 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Or reach out to us via email at tom@guntalk.com. Let us know what you think about the gun-related issues of the day. Now, here's Tom Gresham.
All right. We're out in third and heading to home. By the way, go Cards. This is Gun Talk. I'm glad that you could be with us here. And my apologies to my friends in Boston, but there it just is. Hey, I went to Mizzou. Got to say go Cards. We are talking about, well, we've got a couple of things going on at once. People wanting to figure out how to shoot 7.62 by 39 in their ARs, and then looking at alternate platforms. So during the break, I thought I remembered this, and then I looked, and sure enough, SIG has a rifle, the SIG, make sure I get this right, the SIG 556R, chambered for the 7.62 by 39, really a nice-looking rifle with a folding stock. So if you're kind of looking around and saying, well, that would be kind of cool, that would be kind of cool. A lot of options out there for you. So what are the things that's going on? And this is a news item, and I really wanted to hit this hard today because we need your help. We need everybody to get involved. Now, I know some people are going to say, I'm not an NFA kind of person. I don't have a suppressor. I don't have a machine gun. I don't have a short barrel rifle. I get it. I understand it. But you're a gun person, and you understand we're all in this boat together. You can't wait and say, well, look, they're taking guns away from those people over there. I'm going to wait till they get to me. They're restricting the rights of those people over there. I'm not going to do anything to help them. I'm going to wait till they get to me. Well, when they get to you, who's going to help you out? Just a thought. So to talk about what's going on right now, and this is involving the ATF and this proposed rule change they're doing. David Goldman is joining us. He is known as the gun trust lawyer. We've had him on here before. He knows pretty much everything there is to know about gun trust, setting them up to buy suppressors, silencers, machine guns, NFA items, and everything else. David, how you doing, man?
Great. How you doing?
Well, excellent. We've got a proposed change from the ATF that would really make it not exactly worthless to buy your NFA stuff through a trust, but it would certainly cut down on the utility and the reason that many of us do it. And the prime reason, frankly, for those who haven't caught on, is that if you register your NFA items, your silencers in this case, we'll call it silencers, through a trust, you don't have to get the approval of the local chief law enforcement officer. That's the big deal, is it not?
That's the initial motivating factor that people start to look at trusts for, but it's really one of the least significant benefits. But the proposed change would eliminate that and make you get a modified Clio signature, even with a gun trust. What they're
Clio
proposing
chief
is
law enforcement officer.
What they're proposing is that there's responsible parties defined for trusts and business organizations, and each responsible party would have to get a modified Clio similar to what an individual gets. The biggest problem with this is that the sheriffs that we've talked to, they wouldn't sign the modified Clio that ATF is proposing any more. I guess
more readily than
the existing one, and so it would just make it real difficult for anyone to purchase these types of these items, especially if they live in an area where the sheriffs wouldn't sign off, or have someone involved with their trust in an area where the sheriff wouldn't sign off.
Okay, so and we don't know how many areas that the sheriffs would say, I'm just not going to sign it. But it could be 20%, 30%. It could be as high as 50% of the people who are buying their NFA items and registering them through a trust would simply be absolutely unable legally to buy them and register them at all.
Yeah, we estimate it's probably about 75% of the sheriffs around the country are not participating and would continue not to participate. Now, there's other alternatives than your sheriff to get, but most people don't have access to those people. Sometimes you can go to a judge and get them to sign off. It just depends on the rules in your local areas as who's defined as a chief law enforcement officer. But while I, as an attorney, have access to judges, most people who aren't attorneys don't have access to their judges to have them sign off on these things.
So let me jump in. Hey, David, let me jump in here. So let me just clarify this. This is a move by the Obama administration. This is coming out of the ATF. This is a proposed rule that they've opened up for comment, but what it would do is it would basically stop people in 75% of the jurisdictions from being able to get a suppressor, a silencer, a short barrel rifle, a short barrel shotgun, or a full auto gun at all.
Correct.
Wow. Okay, so what do we do?
Well, we are. There are certain rules and policies that have to be followed to make these types of changes, and it has appeared that the government is trying to take a shortcut and not really follow the rules and kind of force these changes down our throats. So what we've done is we've prepared a comment, which is we've published on our website that people can download and read that addresses many of these issues. And we're looking for people to look at what we've done and not copy our comment exactly, but apply it to their situation and submit comments of their own. Over the next day or two, we're actually going to be publishing letters that individuals can submit to their local sheriffs to find out if they would sign CLEOs. And if they won't, what we're asking them to do is to submit those to us in such a way that we can include them with a future comment that we're going to publish or send into the ATF to basically oppose. And one of the things that we're concerned about is that, they may not pay any attention to the comments in the way that they're supposed to. So it's very important that they be submitted in such a way that we preserve the right to appeal this through the courts to protect everyone's rights in being able to purchase these items.
Okay, so your website is guntrustlawyer.com, and I'm looking here. You scroll down, it says Gun Trust Lawyer David Goldman's comments to ATF 41P. That is the proposal, 41P?
Correct, and that page has basically a table of comments of about a 50-page comment that we've prepared with about 90 pages of exhibits. So everyone can download those, and they can actually download 41P and read what the government's proposing to change. If you look in one of the articles just above that, it's got a response that we received from one of the local sheriffs here in Florida, basically saying that they don't sign them now and they wouldn't sign them under the proposed changes. So what we haven't put up there yet, which we expect to either later today or tomorrow, is a letter that individuals can actually submit to their local sheriffs to seek responses so that we can use those as additional evidence.
Sure, because the basic idea is to document, look, this is the impact of this proposed rule. It's not saying, well, gee, all you have to do is now go to your police officer and get him to sign it off. The impact is it will simply shut it down altogether because they won't sign it.
Correct. In many trusts, not with ours, but with many trusts, the definition that the government's trying to use for responsible parties would even include beneficiaries. And so it's going to be physically impossible to get a background check, fingerprints, and the sheriff's approval on a 2-year-old, your child.
Right.
But that's the level that they're seeking. So they're not just seeking for approval on the individual; they're looking for everybody involved with these entities. And
they want to make the process as
really
onerous as possible. Yeah, they're just trying to shut it down. That's what it is. I mean, clearly the idea is to simply shut it down because they're seeing all these people getting suppressors, and they're going, we don't like this, so we'll change the rules so it basically stops.
Yeah, it's kind of like what they're trying to do with the UN gun treaty. You know, you talk to a lot of people about the UN gun treaty, and initially, if you just kind of glance over it, it says each country gets to make their own rules. But when you dig deeper into it, it's a pretty concerted effort to restrict our future gun rights, because what it says is that if guns could find their way into the hands of criminals or people in another country and it could cause harm to that other country, then each country agrees to restrict the future transfer rights of those firearms. And that would apply to everything. That would apply to a pocket knife.
So let me drive people to your website here, David, because we're running out of time here. It's guntrustlawyer.com. Get that information. You don't have to read all 50 pages. You don't have to copy them all, but just avail yourself of it and find out how to respond. We all need to do this. I mean, this is a big, big deal. And if you're looking for a trust, I mean, we use David. I mean, that's our guy. So I just would tell people, David, that we recommend you highly. guntrustlawyer.com. Listen, I got to scoot. Thank you for keeping us up to date on this, and we'll check back in with you as the process goes along. Thanks, David. Appreciate that. All right, open lines now. 866-TALK-GUNS, 866-825-5486.
Successful hunters know big bucks move early and late, often when it's too dark for common scopes. When that monster steps out, you might see him through the scope, but the crosshairs disappear. All that work and you can't take the shot. But with the Trijicon AccuPoint scope, you'll get the shot. Its bright aiming point glows in daylight or darkness. No batteries needed. AccuPoint scopes are water-resistant and nitrogen-filled, feature multi-layer coated lenses for the brightest image, and you can adjust brightness of the aiming point to match the conditions. Adding 10 or 15 minutes to each end of the day can double the magic moments when the trophies move. You can't hit the target if you can't see the sights. Trijicon AccuPoint scopes. Check out the different models at Trijicon.com or call 1-800-338-0563. Brilliant aiming solutions from Trijicon.
Now your gun safe can notify you if it's moved, opened, or if the temperature or humidity goes up. No matter what brand safe you have, Liberty Safe's new Safe Alert sends an instant alert to your mobile phone. If the safe is jostled or someone opens the door, you'll know. Small, battery-powered, and effective in any safe. Complete your protection with Safe Alert from Liberty Safe. That's libertysafe.com. libertysafe.com.
At Double Tap Ammunition, we hand inspect every round that we make, and we use only the best components to give you the best ammunition on the market. Try us out at www.doubletapammo.com and use the promo code GUNTALK for 10% off your order.
You know the name Walther is a legendary brand, but do you know the new Walther? The new Walther has introduced 3 new precision handguns. The smooth PPQ M2 is a breakthrough in ergonomics and trigger pull. The tough PPX is a workhorse at a value price. The cool, iconic PPK S22 blends classic PPK with the fun of the economical 22 LR. There is a lot going on at the new Walther. Visit us at waltherarms.com. Walther, at your favorite retailer.
The XDM 3.8 Compact from Springfield Armory is 2 guns in 1. Use as your concealed carry gun with a compact magazine and use the extended magazine for home defense. Carry 13 rounds of 9mm in the compact magazine and a whopping 19 rounds in the extended magazine. To see the entire family of Springfield Armory XDM pistols, go to springfieldarmory.com. That's springfieldarmory.com.
You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, the original nationally syndicated radio talk show about firearms, shooting, and your Second Amendment rights.
Putting more guns in people's hands actually does them a service.
Give Tom a call at 1-866-825-5486. That's 1-TOM-TALK-GUNS. Or email tom@guntalk.com.
They're there to protect us.
Now, back to Gun Talk. Here's Tom Gresham.
When was that? Friday night, a couple nights ago. I was at dinner, big group of us, and I was sitting next to a police officer, a friend of mine, and inevitably the conversation comes up, and what are you carrying? And because it's not like we don't know each other's carrying. He's carrying a little Kel-Tec 32. And I'm looking at him and goes, well, it's small. And I'm going, yeah. I said, but Keith, come on. I said, if something bad happens, you don't have much of a gun here. He said, yeah, I've been thinking about that. I guess the question is, why do you carry? Is it simply for you? And even if it is, let's talk about that for a second. Imagine how it could be. Now, don't imagine that it's one person who you have plenty of time to handle. It's going to be chaotic and bad and ugly and nasty. Imagine you're in the back of a restaurant and things have gone bad and you've got two or multiple people, more people out there. And you got full 6 shots of 32. Woohoo! I will return to that great phrase, the Clint Smithism. A self-defensive handgun that you carry is not supposed to be comfortable. It is supposed to be comforting. So he was sitting there with 6 rounds, and I had 27 rounds of 9mm on me at the moment. It doesn't make me a better person. It just makes me think about this stuff more, or maybe more paranoid, or whatever. I don't know. I just know that if it does happen, I probably got to take care of it myself before anybody gets there. Okay, just what I'm thinking. Rick is in Fort Smith, Arkansas. He's on one. Hello, Rick. Tell me about this 7.62 you got.
Hey, Tom. I've got a Colt 7.62 with 39 AR-15, and it shoots fantastic. And in fact, a buddy of mine shot it about a year ago, and he liked it so much that he went to a Model 1 sales and ordered a kit of his own, and it shoots just as well as mine does.
Let me ask you. You could switch that back and forth to 5.56 or by 7.62 by 39, right?
Yeah, actually, I bought a H-bar when that first came out in the early 90s, and I bought the upper receiver from a CDNN, and I just switch them back and forth.
What is it that makes you decide to go one way or the other? What's the decision process?
Actually, I wanted a little more knockdown when I went deer hunting, and the only rifle I had at the time was the AR, so 223 isn't really, at the time, 223 wasn't really notorious for being a good round for deer.
Right. We didn't have good bullets back then. Yeah.
Right. So I bought the 7.62 with 39 for a little bit more knockdown. And I got to tell you, we shoot at 250 yards at the range, and we've got a pie plate size target in there. It's 8 inches around. It's about 1.5 inches thick, but it's 8 inches around, and you can ding it every time with open sights.
Really? Well, yeah. And the 7.62 by 39, for those who may not be aware, you can get it with good hunting bullets, and it has, I would say, probably the ballistics, actually a little bit better ballistics than a 30-30, but with a pointed bullet, so it keeps its velocity and it shoots a little flatter at longer ranges.
Well, I sure like it. And it shoots the cheap ammo just as good as it does the expensive stuff.
I'm assuming that by now you have taken some deer with it.
Yeah, just a couple.
It works okay, huh?
It works fine. It works great.
Okay, well, Rick, I appreciate that. That's good info. That's exactly what I was looking for. People say, why would you do that? This is why. I want a 30 caliber for hunting, and I can use my same AR lower. Line 3, Gary's with us out of Nevada. He's got some information for us here. Hello, Gary.
Hi, Tom. Yeah, I've been a machine gun owner here for several years, and I have to say the first one I purchased, of course, this was back during W's reign. It took about a year to get all the paperwork transferred from where it was to me. The second one, a couple of years later, took about 6 months. And then the last one I purchased took about 3 months. And
how long ago was
that? Like that was encouraging, but I'm sorry to hear what they're up to now.
Let me ask you, how long ago was it, this last one that took 3 months?
The last one, that was about 7 years ago, I think.
Yeah, see, it's gotten a lot worse. It's up to about 11 months now.
But I must say that in my dealings with taking a gun out of state and getting proper paperwork to do that, they've been very responsive and very amenable. Up until I haven't taken out of state in a couple of years, but so far,
well, and
so good.
You know what's actually going on. We got the people you work with are probably lower level folks, and they're just doing their job. And then you've got the folks up at the Eric Holder level, and they're making these decisions and saying we're going to cut down on the number of people who have suppressors, silencers, short barrel rifles, machine guns. We're going to cut down on this whole deal. How can we do that? Oh, here's a way to cut about 75% of them out, literally with the stroke of a pen. We will sign this document. It becomes law. It never goes before Congress. It never gets voted on. It's just a rule. It's not even a law. It's just a rule. And we can do this arbitrarily, and we can cut out 75% of the people and make them completely ineligible from getting a suppressor or a silencer. So that's what this proposal is, and that's why we all have to respond a lot. We got to get all our friends to respond, too. It's one of those. And look, I appreciate the info. I know it surprises people. There are going to be people who are driving down the road. They've hit the scan button. They've landed on this show. And she's turning to him and saying, did he just say he owned a machine gun? I thought it was illegal to own machine guns. No, it's not, actually. It's perfectly legal to own a machine gun. It's a cumbersome process. You do have to get the okay from the federal government, and you have to register the gun. And from the information I've gotten, it appears there may have been, since 1934, when machine gun registration was required, there may have been one, possibly two instances since 1939 of someone with a legal machine gun using it in a crime. Imagine that, since 1939. One, maybe two instances of someone with a legal machine gun using it in a crime. So what's the problem? Why do we have to jump through these hoops? It's just not an issue. And yet they want to clamp down on it. They want to make it even worse. Look, this is a gun control-driven administration in D.C. From the White House to every department that they have influence in, their goal is to ban as many guns as possible and keep as many of you as possible from owning guns.
Tom Gresham's Gun Talk is broadcast nationwide every Sunday. If you can't hear Gun Talk where you live, call your local talk format station and clue them in on Gun Talk. Stay tuned. We're coming right back. Now broadcasting nationwide on radio, via satellite, and through downloads, iTunes, the Gun Talk app, and other podcast clients. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, Tom Gresham here. It is Gun Talk, 866-TALK-GUNS, or tom@guntalk.com. That'll get you in there. Anthony has joined us from Fresno, California on one. Hello, Anthony. You're on Gun Talk.
Yeah, this is talking about the number of firearms you can list on a CCW permit here in California.
Right, right.
And it varies according to what Carrollton County a residence is and which issuing agency that you've applied through. Here in Fresno, if you go through the police department, it's as many as but no more than 3. If you go through the sheriff's department, max 4. And I've heard from multiple reliable sources that if you live just north of here in Madera County, max is 25.
Huh. And now, interestingly, if you go to other states, they don't ask, and you don't have to put anything on your permit. You can carry anything that you own or even anything that you borrowed. There's just no regulation about that at all.
Yeah, and I know I got mine through the sheriff's department here in town, and the county sheriff here, she doesn't much care what you put on the permit as long as it's legal and concealable.
Let me ask you, do you have to qualify with each of the guns that you list on the permit?
Yeah, at the end of you have to take a certification class, and at the end of it, there was a live fire qualification. And see, what they do is they'll have you fire off 12 rounds each in 3 different ranges. And if you want to list 4 of them on there, use 3 of them to qualify with, and if you can certify with those 3, they'll give you a pass on the 4th.
Huh, okay. Sounds good. Looks, I appreciate it. That's good information, Anthony. Tell you what, I mentioned earlier about a big win out in the Midwest, and joining us to talk about that right now is Andy Allen from the Nebraska Firearms Owners Association. Hey, Andy, glad you could join us on Gun Talk.
Hello, good to be here.
Absolutely. Now, there are a lot of people around the country who are thinking, how could they possibly have any kind of a problem with gun rights in Nebraska? That's like the middle America. It's got to be good. Everybody's got to be a gun owner. And why would I even have a Nebraska Firearms Owners Association? Because everybody out there has one. It's not exactly that way, is it?
It's not. You know, you've got to be diligent and stand up for your rights, because any time that you let your guard down, things are going to happen. Plus, you know, it's one of those, you know, even us little flyover state areas, you know, we're able to add some very important support to national issues. So,
and that's what this is. This
and stuff.
This is a big case. This is a big case. That basically, let me see if I've got this right, and then let you fill in the blanks for me, okay? Because we had a law there, or their regulation was that if you're applying for a concealed carry permit in Nebraska, you could not get one unless you were a U.S. citizen, even though you were a legal resident. Is that basically what it amounted to?
That is correct. For a concealed carry permit, they required you to be a U.S. citizen to be able to get. And we helped a gentleman from our capital city of Lincoln who has been a permanent resident alien here in Nebraska since 1991 to be able to get his concealed carry permit. So, you know, we're not talking about people who are, you know, here criminals breaking the law. They're in the country illegally, transporting drugs and so forth. We're you know, going after and supporting the civil rights of people that are just like you and me, hardworking family men.
And to put a fine point on it, people need to remember, you don't have to be a U.S. citizen to have the benefits of the U.S. Constitution when you're in the United States of America. That's the whole point.
That is correct. As long as you're not breaking any laws, the U.S. Constitution applies to you. And then even there, if you're breaking laws, the portions of it that, you know, offer you protection to lawbreakers and so forth still apply to you, whether you're a U.S. citizen or not. You know, I look at it as this way. It's, you know, these are rights that are natural rights or have been given to us by God. And, you know, God doesn't grant gifts to just me. He grants them to everybody. And that's one of those, you know, it's not pointed out, well, you were good enough to be born here or at this location, so you get extra gifts.
That's right. And the right to stay alive is about as basic a right as there is. So, and our right to self-defense predates, and our right to have firearms predates the founding of this country. So, okay, so you take this to court. What was the state arguing? What was their argument? How they could justify stripping legal resident aliens from having rights under the Constitution?
Well, you know, the state really didn't put up a whole lot of a fight in it. In fact, the only real fight in it was the way that the case was originally filed to have one person dismissed from the case. And then they worked with us to get this case settled and to get a verdict in it that supports the needs of the state as well as recognizing the rights of people. That's one of the things that and our Attorney General, because he had to, you know, it's his job to defend the laws of the state. You know, he took a little bit of heat in the press for, hey, you know, he he's come out when he runs for office as a pro-gun person, but here he is defending the state law, and that's his job. He's got to. But
he's stuck with that position, isn't he?
You know, but at the same time, he's able to once the case is at the appropriate time and so forth, work with us to take and find a way to fix these bad laws that he happens to know. I've been working trying to get our state legislature for 5 years to address and fix this issue, and they've just refused to even write and propose a bill for it. So it's one of those things that you know, hey, when the people who are supposed to be writing laws refuse to do their part, you got to take and go the way you have to go to get things accomplished.
Yeah, go through another door. Exactly right. So, is this going to be appealed, or do you think this is just going to sit here? It's just going to be okay.
This is going to be okay. This is going to stand the way it is. I say it was done and agreed upon between the Attorney General's office and our attorneys. They worked together to write up what the court order is. So this is going to stand how it is.
Sounds good. Well, and I know you worked with the Second Amendment Foundation on this. Just sometimes you make law in the courts instead of in the legislature.
Exactly, and you know, it's one of those things where when you do these types of things, like Nebraska this year, we're happy to announce we have no Mayors Against Illegal Guns members here in the state of Nebraska any longer.
Wow!
Just because of the fact that we've flexed our muscles in some areas. We worked to help get one of the last members of Mayors Against Illegal Guns removed from office in election. So you know you do a little bit of work in the courts as well as in elections, and people take and step up and recognize and realize they have to recognize our rights and that we are a group and a force that are active in the state.
Yep. I love your phrase you use. We do a little work, and that's always what it takes. Andy, congratulations. Attaboys to you and the crew out there. You guys doing a great job, and thank you very much for everything you've been doing. All righty. That's the Nebraska Firearms Owners Association. You can also find out more at nebraskafirearms.org. Find out what Andy's been up to. You do a little work. How's that for understatement? But, sometimes that's all it takes. You got to make a call. You got to stand up. You got to not shrug anymore. You got to say, you know what? We're not going to put up with that anymore. And we're going to call you on it. And we're going to do it simply what has to be done. We'll go through We'll go through the court system if we need to. Do a little work. That's kind of a nice catchphrase, is it not? 866-TALK-GUNS. We're open lines now. Got a gun you want to talk about? Absolutely. Ammo? Questions? Or you just want to tell me about a cool thing that happened at the range? Holler at us. 866-TALK-GUN.
From the time Sam Colt created the gun that won the West, Colt handguns have set the standard. Today, that single-action Army revolver is still available, showing craftsmanship known worldwide. The 1991 series of autos continues the legacy started by the world-famous Colt 1911. And the new polymer Mustang XSP breaks the mold when it comes to concealable lightweight pistols. To see more, go to coltsmfg.com. Colt, the legend continues.
So you want to shoot clay targets? Maybe some skeet or trap? Sure, but ammo's hard to find. So load your own ammo, as generations have done with Mech Reloaders. Save money and discover a fun hobby. It's simple, and you can customize loads for different kinds of shooting. Always have ammo on hand. Stock up when there's nothing in the stores. Get started now. Visit mechreloaders.com. That's mecreloaders.com.
The Ruger SR-45, a large caliber pistol with a trim, ergonomic profile. Like the popular Ruger SR-9 and SR-40, the SR-45 is perfectly sized to be comfortable and controllable with a slim, ergonomic grip and narrow slide. It features an adjustable 3-dot sight system, Ruger's unique reversible back strap, an ambidextrous manual safety and magazine release, and built-in Picatinny rail. The Ruger SR45, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
Looking for shooting instruction but don't know where to go? Well, we have it, and you can access hours of training and safety videos, which you can watch on your home computer. On GunTalkTV.com, we have top competitive shooters, the best in self-defense trainers, and folks who have hunted all over the world, helping you learn which gun to buy, how to use it, how to store it safely, and everything else you need to be a safe and competent shooter. We also have gun makers showing off their newest rifles, shotguns, and handguns. Doesn't matter if you're a veteran shooter or a complete beginner, you'll find what you need at GunTalkTV.com. You can check it out for free, and you can get full access for only $5.95 a month. That gives you unlimited access to hundreds of videos, and we're adding more all the time. Run the videos over and over to make sure you understand what's being said. Skip around. You're in control. Get smarter. Shoot better. Visit GunTalkTV.com.
Here's the deal. We're ammo to go. Ammo? You need it. We've got it. Low prices. You want it? We've got it. Selection and fast shipping. Yeah, we've got that too. Rifle ammo, pistol ammo, tracers, magazines, targets, ammo cans. Come on. Sure, we've got all that. Primers, pepper spray, knives. Hey, I'm just getting started. You need it. We've got it. AmmoToGo.com. AmmoToGo.com.
I'm a gun owner. Your views, advice, and questions are the driving force of Gun Talk.
You know, I don't think that guns are scary things.
Visit us online at www.guntalk.com. Call Tom now at 866-TALK-GUN, 866-825-5486. Let us know what you think about the gun-related issues of the day. Now, back to Gun Talk.
All right, back with the 866-TALK-GUN. We'll get you in here, Tom Gresham. Got some folks who have called in. We have questions. We have information. Basically, what we're doing is we're helping each other out. Rex is in Bethel, Alaska, line 4. That's way up there, Rex.
Hi. How you doing, Tom?
I'm good. What's up?
I've been listening to this 7.62 by 39 upper, and I'm wondering, what do you do for magazines?
Aha. Well, because we have a crack staff here, they're looking. I don't have one of these, so I'm having to do the research. But our guys here looked it up for us, or gals actually, both of them. And two things. One is you've got to use an AK magazine for your 7.62 by 39. So a couple ways to go. You can Dremel out the magwell on your AR. Or MGI company makes a modular lower with an AK-47 magwell, so you can put AK-47 magazines in when you're shooting the 7.62 by 39. At least that's the information I have at this point. Probably the next caller will say, well, there's 12 more ways to go, and we'll find out about that. But that's what I know about it at this point. Now, I got to tell you, I would be, of course, you know me. I have this problem, and I look at it and say, why would I want to get a part of a gun where I could just get a gun? So I'm going to probably go the way of picking up either an AK-like gun or a SIG or one of the guns that's actually made to take the 7.62 by 39, or maybe even cooler, the Ruger Mini 30. Which is basically a Mini 14, but it takes the 7.62 by 39. So that would work also. So that's kind of the way I'm going to go. But anyway, that's what I hear. If there's another way to go, I'm sure somebody who has one of these is going to call me, and I hope they would fill me in on that. It's 866-TALK-GUN. We'll get you in here. If you've never, by the way, I just want to mention, if you've never shot a Ruger Mini 30 or a Mini 14, you're in for a treat. They are small, lightweight, kind of short, handle great. It's like the ultimate ranch knock-around truck gun, practically indestructible, reliable, and just flat work. It's one of the things that's made it so popular for all these years. And they've done some improvements on them, and they actually shoot better than they ever have. The Mini 14 has become a really accurate rifle. Be right back.
Join the NRA via Tom Gresham's Gun Talk website and receive $10 off the regular membership price. Log on to guntalk.com for details. You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Tom would like to remind you that if you have a friend or relative who can't hear Gun Talk locally, many of our stations offer live streaming. Tell them to go to guntalk.com and click the listen button. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, back with you here. Let's go down to Metairie, Louisiana. Matthew's with us on 3. Hello, Matthew.
Hey, Tom. I heard somebody call up about the double tap, the two-shot pistol, and I read a review of it on the Truth About Guns website, and the words painful are in the review. It is hilarious reading, but it does make guns something of a collector's item.
I'm actually reading it right now, where he talks about shooting it 20 times is like putting your hand against the wall and smacking it with a ball-peen hammer over and over.
That's about it.
Well, oh man, that's smart. I mean, that's a rough review right there.
Yeah, it's not exactly something I would run out and buy as my primary self-defense weapon. It looks more like something you buy and put in a collector's case.
Well, okay, now to take the other side, obviously this is not a gun you're going to take to the range and run a couple hundred rounds through. This is a carry it, maybe shoot it once or twice. But, I end up coming back to the same place. There are other guns that are roughly the same size that carry more ammo. Now, this is a 45. I will say that. It's a two-shot 45. And, I guess somebody mentioned it maybe as a backup gun and going, well, okay, yeah. If you've fired 10 or 15 or 20 shots and it's still not happening, maybe 2 more is going to be the answer. Or honestly, what I'm thinking is maybe you pull out another magazine and get to work again.
Well, it's better than a sharp stick. Let's put it that way.
Well, and that's a great point. And I don't, we're always talking about this relative to other guns. But if your option is this versus not having something, then 2 thumbs up, attaboy, good on you for carrying it, and learn to use it. So it's a great point. Having a gun is better than not having a gun when you need it. So, and I don't care, the ugliest, clunkiest, most terrible gun in the world can be a lifesaver. So there you go. So look, I hope they do well. I hope it gets developed and improved, and like a lot of other things, it gets better. And people, it may be an entry gun for people. They start with that. They say, I think I'd like to get more guns. Well, that's not a bad thing either. So, but look, I appreciate you bringing that up, and I just went to the Truth About Guns where I saw your note there and reading this review. I'm doing the same thing you're doing. I'm reading this thing and just laughing. It's outrageously funny. So, but for those who don't know, the truthaboutguns.com, it's quite the website, and they have reviews and news and all sorts of things, so you never know what you're going to see there. And I appreciate the call. Thanks. Appreciate that, Matthew. I did want to circle back to mention our first-person defender videos. We talk a lot about self-defense, about awareness, about safety, and safety not just in carrying guns, but in all things. The way you operate, the way you behave, where you go. If you're out at 3 o'clock in the morning, hitchhiking, drunk, coming home from a bar, probably not a good place to put yourself. It's one of those deals of situational awareness. But how do you know what to do in these situations? How do you know how to get out of them? How do you know how to recognize when things are going wrong? If you're not in it, you're not trained for it, you don't know. That's what our series is about. It's called First Person Defender. We put these together, we made them free. We made them free because we want you to watch them. We think it can save your life. If you go to YouTube and just search for First Person Defender, take a look at them. I'll guarantee you, we know that people have already been saved. We know that one woman already saved her daughter when she got attacked by a pit bull. They were killed, this Rottweiler, because she'd watched these videos. First Person Defender on YouTube. Think about it, share it with your family members, and be safe out there. See you next week.